You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. All right, folks, WNBA star Maya Moore has postponed her WNBA career for the second year to fight for the release of a man that she believes is wrongly in prison. Well, guess what? Today, a Missouri state judge, Dan Green, ordered the conviction of Jonathan Irons to be vacated. The finding was that his defense had provided enough evidence to prove he was wrongfully convicted. Irons has been in prison for the last 23 years. He was sentenced to 50 years in prison in the non-fatal shooting of a homeowner during a burglary. The good news was delivered by Moore, who supported his efforts. Now, the deal is the state has 15 days to request an appellate review. The Attorney General has not given any comment whatsoever. If the state does not request an appellate review, then the county where this took place in Missouri has 30 days to decide whether to retry him. Avis, the fact that here's a sister who postpones her career for the second year. She didn't play last year at all, announced a week or two ago that she was going to do it again until he gets released. That's huge.
That is huge, because when you think about a professional athlete only has a very short amount of time where their bodies can really take that level of activity. And so the fact that she would postpone her career for potentially she was willing to do up to 2 years in her prime is huge. But it's good to see that her sacrifice has now ended up in the justice. Hopefully it'll stay this way, that she was seeking to get in the first place.
Robert, again, this guy's been there 23 years, sentenced to 50 years. Always said, I didn't do it.
Well, I think looking at the thing, Wood's execution, looking at this case, it really does push the need for full-scale criminal justice reform. And I love what our athletes are doing. We have to concentrate more than just on Kaepernick. You have the players' organization founded by Michael Jenkins, Anquan Bolden, who are doing great work in criminal justice reform space. We have to really key in on this on the state level, because there's only so much that the federal government can do when it comes to these issues. We get very excited for presidential elections, but guess what? Your city council, your county commission can do more.
Federal level, only 10% of prisons on the federal level.
Yeah, and
90% on the state and local.
Level. Yeah, so state and local level. You know, things like in custody voting for inmates in county jails who have not been convicted of a felony.
Or how about unanimous death penalty verdicts? Louisiana changed theirs. The guy, Nathaniel Woods, it was 10-2. It was not a unanimous verdict.
Yeah. Well, and not just on that. Let's understand, we have to be pushing for state-by-state repeal of the death penalty completely. Absolutely. It is an antiquated, inhumane system. And we want to talk about biblical law going forward, then that's something which I don't think any Christian can get behind. And it was good seeing some Christian organizations being against the execution of Nathaniel Woods. But we have to get more involved on the state and local level. Trump is an animating aspect of American politics. Don't forget about what actually hits you on a daily basis.
Eugene, again, what's interesting here, according to the New York Times story, he was prosecuted for burglarizing a home, yet the decision by the judge today was all based on fingerprint evidence that said that there was a, quote, the fingerprints found inside a door that would have been used to exit the house did not belong to Iron or to the crime victims. That was never even brought up in the trial.
Yeah, I mean...
So the prosecutor withheld it.
Prosecutor withheld it. And look, we see dirty prosecutors across the country every day. One of the things I think that could be a demand on whatever the next administration is that, while a lot of these cases, about 95% of these cases are on the state level, one of the things the federal government could do is create a new unit that's fully funded at a way only the federal government can do to review every single case from the last 30 to 40 years that's happened at every level of government. That's something the federal government Department of Justice can do and present findings where there's been prosecutorial misjustice where there have been where folk are currently sitting in jail and should be sitting in jail. That's something where the feds may not be able to make an actual decision on it, but they could provide the resources, provide the talent, and provide the execution to lead to more situations like this, where you had a guy that lost. Think about this: when he went in, there was no active use of the internet widespread. Now he got to learn how to, his entire Walkman camera, everything is now fits on an iPhone.
Right.
That's the type of lost time that these people are losing. That when they're sitting in jail for these amounts of time.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of these states also do not provide for what I dare say is proper compensation for folks who have been impacted by this as well. All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, so a lot of y'all are always asking me about some of the pocket squares that I wear. Now, Robert don't have one on. Now, I don't particularly like the white pocket squares. I don't like even the silk ones. And so I was reading GQ magazine a number of years ago, and I saw this guy who had this pocket square here, and it looks like a flower. This is called a shibori pocket square. This is how the Japanese manipulate the fabric to create this sort of flower effect. So I'm going to take it out and then place it in my hand so you see what it looks like. And I said, man, this is pretty cool. And so I tracked down, it took me a year to find a company that did it. And so they make these about 47 different colors. And so I love them because, again, as men, we don't have many accessories to wear, so we don't have many options. And so this is really a pretty cool pocket square. Now, what I love about this here is you saw when it's in the pocket, it gives you that flower effect like that. But if I wanted to also, unlike because if I flip it and turn it over, it actually gives me a different type of texture. And so therefore it gives me a different look. So there you go. So if you actually want to get one of these shibori pocket squares, we have them in 47 different colors. All you got to do is go to rolandsmartin.com/pocket squares. All right, so first of all, that graphic is way too small. So tomorrow we're going to run it right down here all across the screen. So it's rolandsmartin.com/pocket squares. All you got to do is go to my website and you can actually get this. Now, for those of you who are members of our Bring the Funk fan club, there's a discount for you to get our pocket squares. That's why you also got to be a part of our Bring the Funk fan club. And so that's what we want you to do. And so it's pretty cool. So if you want to jazz your look up, you can do that. In addition, y'all see me with some of the feather pocket squares. My sister, who's a designer, she actually makes these. They're all custom made. So when you also go to the website, you can also order one of the customized feather pocket squares right there at rolandsmartin.com/pocket squares. So please do so. And of course, it goes to support the show. And again, if you're a Bring the Funk fan club member, you get a discount. This is why you should join the fan club. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video. You want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered? YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. See that name right there? Roland Martin Unfiltered. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so when we go live, you'll know it.